Hey, everyone. If you were seeing all that back and forth for the last 10 minutes, we apologize. But this webinar, we need to do a little training before the webinar. So anyway, welcome to Shaping the Future, the Impact of AI and Social Sciences Librarianship, a dynamic webinar brought to you by the Social Sciences section of IFLA's Professional Division G. I'm Abby Moore, your enthusiastic chair of the Social Sciences section and your moderator for today's event. A huge shout out to our incredible committee members, and especially Katerina Shibeva and Robin Kier for their dedication in bringing this event to life. Today, we're joined by a stellar lineup of panelists from Pakistan, the Philippines, Russia, and India, each ready to share their insights in 15 to 20-minute presentations. If you have questions during the talks, please drop them in the chat. We'll have a lively Q&A session after our final presenter wraps up. Before we dive in, does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? I did see that someone asked us to provide certificates of participation. That's not something we typically do, but I can look into that. Anything else before we get to the presenters? Okay, so just to let you know, I'm going to let the presenters kind of give a more in-depth introduction of themselves, but I will introduce each one before their talks. And a quick note, if I happen to mispronounce any names during the introductions, please forgive me. I promise it's all in the spirit of learning and connection. Okay, so now let's meet our first speaker, Dr. Mohammed Yousuf Ali. Dr. Ali is joining us from Pakistan and is ready to kick things off with his presentation. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Abe. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. As per your time zone, on behalf of faculty of behalf of Social Science Library Committee, I welcome this webinar having title Shaping the Future of having the title Future Impact of AI in Social Science Libraries. And today I will talk about the AI tools for the systematic review, opportunities and challenges. And about me, I am Dr. Mohammed Yousuf Ali. I did my PhD in Library and Information Science, currently working as an associate librarian at Aga Khan University, Karachi, Pakistan. And I have 35 research publications and 7 papers related to artificial intelligence services and innovation in libraries. And I have 990 citations on Google Scholar. I won the Emerald Literary Award and as well as IFLA Travel Grant Award. With this brief introduction note, I will move to the famous quotation of former CEO Ginni Rometty, former CEO of IBM, Ginni Rometty. She said, AI will not replace the human, but those who use the AI will replace those who don't. And today's scheme of presentation is that I will just provide a background information and an introduction of AI tools and use in systematic review, how the induction of AI tool in systematic review, as well as different 7 tools which is used for the process of systematic review, librarian roles, how AI tools can be integrated with AI literacy session, as well as opportunities for the librarian and challenges which is faced for the systematic review tools which is used in as well as a few recommendations because it's an international forum. And definitely, floor is open for the esteemed and worthy participants for the question and answer. So, Industrial Revolution 4.0 is one of the important key impact for the artificial intelligence services and in the library. As per the report published in the McKinsey Global Survey in 2022, um, uh, human-machine interaction of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, autonomous guided vehicles, robotics, and automation become the part of our daily life. And Industrial Revolution 4.0 make a significant impact on research and library industry, library ecosystem, and research. And different tools has been invented which have changed the paradigm of research. And how it has changed the paradigm of research, just I have shared the last 15 years of publication. Can you see that I have divided 5 years for period from 2011 to 2015. In this period, we have Scopus has published 85,313 publication, and after the next 5 years, 2016 to 2020, it is being almost double, and 174,829 systematic review published. And coming last 5 years, from 2021 to 2025, it's near about 358,460 systematic review has been published. This data has been extracted from the Scopus database, and since last 15 years, you may see that near about 618 and 1,000 plus public systematic review has been published by the Scopus. And those librarian and those university who are involved in a systematic review services or literature synthesis service, that means there is a significant growth. And without library and librarian and libraries and knowledge economy support, it has not been possible to publish such a large number of systematic review. So it is impact, heavy impact on the publication industry, which is managed and output by the librarians. And similarly, it is improved the scholarly communication as well. And similarly, scholarly profile of the researcher from all the field, all the walk of the life, including social sciences, medical sciences, health sciences, and business management, has been improved. So induction of artificial intelligence tool in the library is like we go some previous perspectives, like expert system is being introduced in 1984, natural language processing based chatbot, though it is invented in 1966, but it is formally introduced in library in 1999. RFID system is being used in 1994. Databases, artificial intelligence is being inducted in databases in 1986, and EndNote is introduced in 1989. However, systematic review and research has been increased since 2018, since couple last 7 or 8 years. There are so many AI-based tool is being introduced for the research purpose. If you may see that, what are the systematic review tools is being used for the systematic review. Number one is called the AI-based search engine, which is being replaced the traditional search engine, and AI-supported databases, AI-related literature synthesis software, and then AI-driven academic writing tools, and AI-driven reference management tool, as well as AI-associated tool for the paraphrasing, and AI-guided for the journal finder. So first I talk about AI-based search engine. So an AI-based search engine utilize artificial intelligence technology like machine learning and natural language processing to deliver more relevant and accurate search results than traditional search engines. And here are some important AI-based search engine like Semantic Scholar, as well as Perplexity AI, Consensus, and Copilot and u.com. These are being different from the traditional search engine, like we are doing search engine on Google Scholar or PubMed. So these search engine is being different from the traditional search engine. So I will recommend please use these tools if you are using the systematic review. And similarly, AI-based bibliographical database like artificial intelligence-based bibliographical database combine the power of AI with the traditional concept of the bibliographical database, enhance the searching, organizing, and managing search literature. And in this context, we have Scopus AI. So here you can use the references since 2023, and you can ask different sort of summary. And Science Direct AI use the Eureka, and as well as EBSCO Discovery, and as well as Dimension. And Taylor and Francis, Sage is also being integrated the databases with the AI tools. And similarly, AI tools for the literature synthesis and summary software, AI-based literature synthesis software summarize the key finding, identify relevant studies, even assist generating the research question and as well as hypothesis. And these tools are including that AS Review, as well as Covidence, as well as Rayan, Max Corda, and Science Space, and S-Site, and Elicit. Beside, there are summary. Beside, there are so many tools, but we have we cannot discuss every tool here. And similarly, if you talk about the AI-based writing and paraphrasing tools, AI writing tools provide rapid feedbacks on you can helpful and improve your writing, grammar, structure, sentences. It is very useful for the non-native English speakers or English writer or researchers. And like if you talk about here, these tools are including Grammarly, as well as Wordwise, as well as ChatGPT and Bolt and Gemini from the Google. And similarly, AI tool for the citation management, for the referencing. AI-based reference management system utilize the artificial intelligence to automate and enhance the process of organizing, citing, and managing research material. This system leveraged for streamlined tasks and like metadata extraction, citation formatting, even provide AI-powered research assistant, making research more efficient and insight. And these tools are including MyBib, PaperPal, as well as Sourcely, and Site Machine, and Mendeley as well, and Zotero, and as well as EasyBib. And similarly, journal finders, when a systematic review report writing is being completed, then there are so many user and researcher finding the journal finders where they can publish their research. So AI-based journal finder help a user to recommend suitable journal for the publishing research paper based on the paper content and the keywords. And in this tool, we are used journal finder tools like Trinkia Journal Finder, as well as Elsewhere Journal Finder and Publication Recommender. And IEEE is Sage Journal Finder, as well as Springer Journal Suggester and Wiley Journal Finder. Besides this, Taylor and Francis has also introduced its Journal Finder tool. So, and here I complete the first phase, and I have a question for the participants. Max Corda is a software, is a Dash software, so you can give the answer on the chat box. It is a literature synthesis software, or it is a reference management software, or it is a data analysis. So you can write the correct answer on the chat box. I will appreciate your answer, and it will give me an acknowledgement that you are listening this session. I have received a correct answer from Roth Vendeki and Priyanka Bhartra. This is the right answer. The right answer. The right answer is, and the correct option is the literature synthesis software. Thank you for give me acknowledgement. And there is another quiz for the participant. So be ready for this. And the semantic scholar is a dash, like it's a journal finder tool, like it's a reference management tool, or it's a search engine. So you can give me the answer. So I will try to name of the participants who give me the correct answer. So you can write the correct answer on the chat box. So the correct answer is the semantic scholar is a search engine. And now the second phase, we have discussed about the role of librarian in the systematic review. So a librarian can help and design the AI literacy program, as well as the AI literacy session and the prompt writing, as well as best practices they can share with their user, and as well as international guidelines. So these are the, as far as concerned, design the AI literacy program, the university management should design AI literacy program for the different level of researcher, like novice researcher, like mid-career researcher, and experts and the senior researchers as per their need and wants. And similarly, AI literacy session for the social scientists and researcher to empower them with the wonderful AI tools and how these tools are being effectively used for the research purpose. And prompt writing is being very important because the librarian are being very important, and he or she may know that how to formulate the keywords and how to formulate the different framework of the research like PICO, Spider, and PPC. So they can help them how can design the search string. So prompt writing is being very important, and a prompt writing is a direction writing about the particular topic, and this may present it in one or more sentence, or it may be include a short passage as well as the picture and the paragraph, and as well as search string. And best practices we can share with our user, like national and international best practices regarding the AI literacy for the library user in the context of the systematic review, and as well as for the research. And guidelines are being different guidelines is being designed for the use of AI, because there are so many confusion about the AI. Some are allowing that, some are not allowing that. So there is some limitation is being exist, and there are different international guideline is being prepared, like IFLA guideline, which is designed by the SIG AI, as well as the CLIP, a UK-based organization. They are published their report regarding the use of AI literacy in 2020, and similarly ALA guidelines, and as well as opportunities. There are so many opportunity for the librarian. There is a learning opportunity to learn AI tools and empower their user, and technical and research skill will be improved if their librarian and library team use AI tool. And research collaboration is being possible if you are support your research team. So the researcher will offer you to become the part of this research, and you get the co-authorship. And similarly, active contribution, you can learn about the academic writing, and you can learn how the machine learning LLM will help to generate and gather reference and citation management and literature search and different AI tools. And definitely positive image go and recognize in the by the university management and your organization. And there are some challenges. So challenges are being there. AI infrastructure is being missing, especially in the context of the lower and middle income countries, as well as the technology fear. So many still librarians face that technology fear. If they are using that technology, this technology will replace their job and whatsoever. Lack of support from the IT, because librarian, most of cases, librarian not familiar with the IT support and technical skills, so they need support from the IT team, but sometimes IT support is lack. And licensing and subscription is a major challenges for the librarian, because AI tools, some of how they are being free, but advanced and advanced version are the license based and subscription based, and you have challenge to subscribe these tools. And there are some recommendation, because this is an international forum, so I got chance. AI literacy code designed for the researcher and the library user, and prepare a guideline for the usage of AI tool and systematic review, national and international level as per your need, and training and workshop for the librarian on the effective use of AI tool in research, as well as AI-related tool and LibGuide design. Through this, user can get access 24/7. And literature synthesis services not limited, I just mentioned, is for the systematic review. We should include scooping review, rapid review, narrative review, umbrella review, and another types of review as well. And these are the references which I use in this presentation. These are the social media platform. You can connect with this. I have thank you very much for your listening this presentation and provide me an opportunity to share my thoughts. I have seen a hand raise up from the Savlik Denjen. So if you can write your question on the chat box, I will try to respond your question, as well as you will ask your question at the time of question and answer session. Floor will be open. You will unmute yourself, but it will take time. You have to stay till the end, or listen the last presentation, and you got the opportunity, and you can ask the question directly with me, and I will try to respond you. So your comments and feedback will be welcome. Thank you very much once again.
You're getting lots of kudos in the chat, Yousuf. So
thank you.
Great. Okay, so we're going to pivot topics a little bit, and we're going to hear from Mr. Luis Ezra D. Cruz, representing the Philippines. Mr. Cruz brings a wealth of knowledge to our discussion. Let's welcome him. And as a reminder, just like what everyone else said, or what Dr. Ali said and what Robin has said in the chat, please, if you have questions, add your questions to the chat or the Q&A. We will get to them at the end. We're not going to interrupt the presentations to ask questions. Okay, I'm out of here. Take it away, Mr. Cruz.
Yeah, good morning and also good evening wherever you are. It's currently around 10:30 in the evening here in the Philippines, in Manila, but I'm still pretty much awake and very excited to share with all of you my study. Okay. I am Luis Ezra D. Cruz, and I am the Digital Scholarship and Initiatives Coordinator at the De La Salle University Libraries. De La Salle University is a research library in Manila, Philippines. And the title of my presentation is Enhancing Social Science Research in Library Discovery, the Application of Generative AI for Contextual and Exploratory Research. In this presentation, I'll be exploring how generative AI can enhance library discovery services in the context of social science research by going beyond the basic keyword searching. By using conversational and natural language, discovery services using generative AI enable more contextual and exploratory ways of finding information, which can better support researchers in uncovering relevant materials, drawing connections, and also deepening their inquiry. In recent years, we've seen the volume of social science publications surge, which reflects just how complex and interconnected the issues we have studied or we are studying at the moment. Researchers today aren't working in silos. They're drawing on various fields such as sociology, economics, political science, anthropology, and other fields, producing more work that blurs the traditional boundaries. At the same time, the questions we ask are more open-ended and context dependent. We want to understand phenomena in relation to cultural, historical, and geographic factors, not just pull up papers that match a handful of keywords. The problem with that is, keyword-based discovery system struggle a lot to keep up with the shift. Because they depend on the exact or near exact term matching, they often miss the relevant studies whose authors use different terminologies or frame concept in adjacent fields. You might know the idea that you're trying to explore, but not the precise jargon someone else used, which leaves blind spots and missed connections. And relying on trial and error refinement is very time consuming and discourages deep context-rich exploration. To bridge this gap, many academic libraries are investigating and looking for AI-enhanced discovery tools that go beyond the simple keyword search matching. By interpreting queries expressed in everyday language or natural language and understanding the intent behind our questions, these tools can surface relevant records even when there's no exact term overlap. The results are more exploratory, context-aware research workflow that helps social scientists navigate vast, diverse collections and also draw meaningful connections across the fields in social sciences. Building on the need for more context-driven discovery, let's look at how traditional keyword search often falls short, especially in academic research and also in social sciences. There are three main limitations. First is the exact match dependency. If you search, like for example, social capital in rural communities, you might miss papers that use different terms like community networks in non-urban areas. It's basically the same thought but different terminologies. Because keyword search relies on literal matches, it often overlooks relevant works phrased differently. Second is poor support for exploratory research. Many researchers start with the broad, open-ended questions like, what theories address gender inequality in education? Without knowing the precise jargon in the field, you might end up in a cycle of trial and error. Testing keywords, scanning results, revising terms, it's really inefficient and frustrating for researchers. And third is the interdisciplinary gap. Social science research often crosses into other fields like public health or political science. If the key studies are unfamiliar terminology from another discipline, you, of course, might not find them. Traditional search tools don't interpret your intent or connect ideas. They basically just match the keywords or the words. These gaps really highlight the need for a more intuitive and also context-aware discovery method, something that generative AI is well positioned to provide. Having outlined the limitations of traditional keyword search, we now turn to how generative AI can help transform library discovery into a more intuitive and also context-aware process. Generative AI addresses keyword search challenges in several key ways. First is, now it enables natural language queries. Instead of guessing the right keywords, users can ask natural language or full questions. For example, what recent studies examine the social media's role in political mobilization? AI or generative AI interprets the question, recognizes synonyms, for example, digital activism, and retrieves thematically relevant results. Second is it offers also contextual summaries. Rather than just reading through dozens of abstract, users get concise overviews highlighting the key findings, frameworks, or methodologies, which really makes it easier to quickly assess relevance rather than just going through each and every result in the keyword searching. Third is it also supports a more exploratory search experience. What does this mean? No? While not all tools support follow-up questions, many AI research tools offer related suggestions or related questions which guide users through connected topics, shifting the experience from just static searching to a more dynamic and also conversational process. And finally, in the case of the tool examined in this study, the generative AI is embedded directly into the existing discovery interface. Later on, I'll be talking more about it. This integration maintains familiar workflows and leverages the institution's own trusted content. Unlike many standalone AI research tools, which the previous speaker already discussed, this the seamless layering on existing discovery platforms offers a much more seamless researcher-friendly advantage because you'll not be going to various different platforms. You just need to go to your discovery service. Now that we've explored the generative AI or what generative AI can offer in theory, let's turn to the specific tool examined in this study, which is the Primo Research Assistant. The Primo Research Assistant is a generative AI research tool developed by Exlibris, which is under Clarivate. It is integrated into the Primo VE discovery system. Primo VE is one of the discovery service platform of Exlibris. So it is integrated into the Primo VE discovery system and is designed to make academic research more accessible, especially for users unfamiliar with advanced search techniques. So how does Primo Research Assistant works? When a user enters a question, it is in natural language. It's like you're just inputting or asking a normal or conversational question. Then the tool uses a large language model to convert your question into a Boolean query behind the scenes. That query is run through the Central Discovery Index or the Exlibris extensive scholarly records. The system then evaluates the results based on the metadata and abstracts of the selected results and select the 5 most relevant records. And from that 5 most relevant records, it generates a concise AI-written summary with inline references. The goal is to offer users a quick, focused overview without needing to sift through multiple individual search results. In this study, I examined the tool implementation at a Primo VE instance of a university library in Manila, Philippines. It underwent internal testing for a month before being officially launched in January 2025 of this year, 2025. Primo Research Assistant uses retrieval augmented generation. I think some of you are already familiar with this, or the RAG architecture. It is a method first introduced in 2020 by Lewis and other co-authors. It is widely used in academic search tools because it blends traditional search with the power of large language models. So why is RAG useful? RAG is useful because it doesn't just generate an answer. It cites the document that supports the response or the answer, making the response both informative and verifiable, which is really important in academic research. So how does it work? Just like Primo Research Assistant, you just ask a research question in natural language, then the system retrieves relevant documents, not from web sources, but from trusted databases like the CDI, Scopus, or Web of Science. Also, Scopus and Web of Science have AI embedded research tools, Scopus AI and also Web of Science AI. The language model summarizes the key points from these documents and provides an answer with the relevant citations. This combination of retrieval and generation makes RAG especially powerful for academic research, making sure that AI responses are grounded in real and scholarly sources, and making sure that no hallucinations, unlike in ChatGPT, no hallucinations will be provided for the answers for the questions. Okay, the research assistance has also a few notable features. First is that it supports semantic search and natural language querying, again, allowing users to interact with the system conversationally or in natural common language, not just with keywords. Second is that it provides AI-powered answers with references or inline citations, so researchers get both a synthesized response and access to the underlying sources. Third is it offers also search suggestions, helping users to explore related topics or to refine their initial questions. And lastly, there's also multilingual support. So if you post, actually not all languages are supported, but some of the more known languages, if you prompt in French or Spanish, the results will be in French and also in Spanish. And both the results can be in English or in the original language. Of course, like any new tool, the research assistant has some limitations to keep in mind as of this moment. First is it doesn't yet support follow-up questions. So each query must be standalone. Users need to phrase their questions clearly from the start. But Exlibris expects to add follow-up questions feature by the first half of 2026. Second is it only searches metadata and abstract from Central Discovery Index, no open web content, news articles, and also some of the listed publishers in the slide. And also content availability may also pose as a challenge, as some of the providers, the agreements evolve and some may pull out their initially allowed contents. And lastly, users must be signed into their institutional Primo account, and language support is still limited but can be used. And there's also no cap on the searches, but future limits may be introduced as per Exlibris. Okay, to better understand how Primo Research Assistant works and how it might support actual research behavior, we gathered initial feedback through targeted interviews with selected faculty and graduate students in the social sciences in the university where this was tested. Participants were invited to test the tool within the context of their current research work. And we conducted semi-structured interviews after their use and also explore how the assistant was used, what value it added, and where its limitations became evident. From this early exploratory evaluation, we identified several emerging use cases, which you can see in the slide, that suggest where the tools may be most useful in the academic research workflows. First is preliminary literature scanning with synthesized overviews. One of the most common ways participants use the tool was for preliminary literature scanning. Researchers often begin with a broad and big picture question, something like, what are the current debates around climate migration? So instead of manually assembling keyword combinations, they could pose the question directly. And as you can see the example there, the assistant would return a synthesized overview highlighting the key themes. There are also the sources specifically listed or inline citations or sources on the overview. This helped users quickly map the landscape of a topic without needing to sift through pages of results. Next one is clarifying unfamiliar topics. For example, a graduate student encountered a method like critical discourse analysis for the first time and may not know the keywords to use or to begin with. By asking natural language questions such as what is critical discourse analysis, the assistant provided plain language explanation and surfaced relevant papers across different disciplines. Next one is associative discovery to surface interdisciplinary connections. We also observed this as the tool strength in the associative discovery. For instance, when someone searched for background on food security in Vietnam. The assistant suggested down below the related questions such as the impact of climate change on food security in Vietnam, or government policies in Vietnam to improve food security, and other related questions. These conceptual overlaps help users to branch into adjacent fields or areas they hadn't initially considered, which can broaden the scope of their inquiry in much more meaningful ways. And last use case example is refining the research question based on the initial results. So when a query is broad, the assistant provided specific answers based on the retrieved documents and also suggested narrower related questions. For example, when asked how is gender equality reflected in political representation in ASEAN countries, the assistant returned insights specific to countries like Philippines and Indonesia, rather than the generic regional ASEAN overview. Conversely, when a question was too narrow, the assistant could recommend broader alternatives which help users step back and see the bigger picture. This feedback loop allowed for more efficient iteration, which enables users to formulate clearer, more focused research questions. So overall, these use cases that I mentioned show that the assistant isn't just a research tool or search tool. It functions as more of a research companion that support key stages of academic inquiry, from scoping, framing, discovery, and also clarification. And to summarize the preliminary observations, we have a few here. First, the tool is valued for its ability to summarize and organize information. Participants noted that it helped bring together content from multiple sources in one cohesive summary. Second is it is also effective for early stage research. Users found the tool helpful during topic selection, background research, even in scoping reviews. Next is, of course, reported time savings. Several participants mentioned it. While we did not quantify this, since this is just a preliminary study, users felt that they spent less time navigating and opening multiple records thanks to the AI-generated summaries. Fourth is that it supported users in shaping and refining their research topics. Several participants said the summaries made it easier to identify potential research gaps, particularly for interdisciplinary or unfamiliar areas. And also, they generally have a positive user reception. They want the summaries and also the related research question features. And also, lastly, some noted limitation. Of course, it doesn't have still follow-up questions, occasional latency in response time, and also missing methodological details such as what data they used and how the studies were conducted. While these insights are based on small set of qualitative interviews, it clearly offers evidence of the tool's promise. And also follow-up studies could also be established to establish the broader impact of this tool in the academic research practices. These are my references, and this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or would like to discuss possible collaborations, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find my contact information in the slide. And I look forward to your questions and feedback after all the presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. So everyone remember that everybody who's asking for slides, I just want to call attention to what Ekaterina sent to everyone in the chat, that slides will be available on the Social Sciences webpage, IFLA's Social Sciences webpage, and we will send out that information. Okay, our third panelist, Dr. Vadim Stepanov, all the way from Moscow, Russia, is going to talk about bibliographic activity in social sciences. Take it away, Dr. Stepanov.
Hello, everyone. My topic is bibliographic activity in social science in the era of neural networks and API interfaces and academic standards. Digital paradigm of information activity. Science is the most intensive field of activity. So the final result of the research work, quality of the research, often depends on the quality of processing of the information flow. At the beginning of the 21st century, bibliographic support for social science was carried out by many libraries, by us, information centers, and commercial services that formed numerous databases, access to which was the starting point of any research. Total digitalization of the process of creating and transmitting information and the parallel development of several standards and technologies at once led to such significant reorganization of bibliographic and, in general, information services for the scientific sphere that it is appropriate to talk about new paradigm of its development. First of all, creation and dissemination of bibliographic information. Creation bibliographic information, the basis for the most profound transformation was the number of international standards adopted by academic community, allowing to the clear identification of scientific paper, digital object identifier, and of course its authors, open researcher and contributor ID. The method of submitting scientific papers to publishers has also been unified. Nowadays, manuscripts are uploaded through standard interfaces. The author, along with the full text, enters the title of the work, its abstract, a list of references, and additional sources, illustration, tables, graphs. This process launches the entire feather endless circle of bibliographic information in this digital universe. When accepting a manuscript submitted in this way for publication, the publisher supplements the initial information with information about the source, title, volume, issue, journal name, monograph, the pages on which it placed classification indexes, and assist DOI, unique identifier for this work. Dissemination of bibliographic information. When corresponding publication of information about published on the publisher website, the DOI is automatically, without any human assistance, transferred to Crossref, a special global agency for registering digital object identifiers created 25 years ago, which has turned out now a giant global repository of bibliographic information continuously received from publishers. It's a database of interested science. It's a database not for human. It's a database for computer program. Crossref is an open source information from which can be obtained by anyone without any restriction. To borrow data from the network, API technology is used. API is the very important thing here. Application programming interface. This software interface implements interaction between different computer programs. In particular, computer programs can remotely request and receive the necessary information from each other. In the case of our interest, bibliographic information. Exchanges of bibliographic data, which were previously carried out exclusively manually by librarians, mainly in the process of corporate cataloging, are carried out automatically due to the API. Bibliographic information is continuously transferred from resource to resource in previously unimaginable gigantic volumes without any human intervention. The new types of companies, which can be described as the metadata aggregators, global discovery services, or as we see it most accurately, global bibliographic platforms, have taken advantage of the opportunities they have opened up. Their goal is, listen, to unite the entire world flow of scientific and educational publication in order to provide on this basis a full circle of information services to any user in strict accordance with their individual information needs. As a librarian, I remember this aim has Ashur Banipal, the founder of the first library in the world. In some cases, users are also offered by this bibliographic platforms, offered a number of services, mostly related to scientometric, of course. So let's see these databases, huge global bibliographic platforms. First of all, Semantic Scholar, that is a giant. Then the Lens, Open Alex, and Silent. That is a clear, typical bibliographical databases. Google Academy, ResearchGate, and of course Scopus, Web of Science. Everybody, I guess, know about the systems. Are it's not a typical databases. It's the main task of those services is scientometrics, calculating scientific activity ratings of academic institution and individual scientists. In Russia, we have the same equivalent of such academic service. It's a library. I guess every country have the same. And there is an academic landscape visualization platform. The Semantic Scholar bibliographic array forms the basis for a special kind of information services that, in addition to the listed functions, include the ability to visualize the landscape of the particular scientific field. There are at least 3 similar services: Connected Papers, Lit Maps, and my favorite one is Research Rabbit. How it works, how global bibliographic platform works. These companies, Semantic Scholar, The Lens, OpenAlex, Silent, companies continuously via API technology query and receive bibliographic data in a standardized format, JSON or XML usually, from Crossref, dataset, and many publishers. Information about new publication accumulates year after year, forming an array of hundreds of millions of records today. Global bibliographic platforms perform intelligent processing of bibliographical data flow, including combining information about a specific document received from different sources into a single and most informative bibliographic record, and using neural networks form the semantic images, embeddings. Most metadata providers, including both the most famous academic brands and no less authoritative scientific repositories, willingly share bibliographic data, since access to full text occurs only on their own platforms. The transferred metadata serve as a free advertisement. Just only remark. Only Elsevier do not provide data to Semantic Scholar, for example. Based on the received gigantic information array covering, with rare exceptions, the entire world scientific publication flow, global bibliographic platforms provide all traditional types of information support for research activity in a fully automated mode. Bibliographic service. I teach it more than 40 years ago in Moscow Library Institute. Information services for scientific research. Search for information on a one-time request, first one. Implementation of current bibliographic information on long-term request or in non-request mode. Selective dissemination information. I remember my professors 40 years ago that say, it's an enormous service, it's an enormous service. Now it's a service for everybody in the world. Analytical processing of the document flow. Compilation of bibliographic or abstract list of a certain subject, as well as literature reviews. Provision of full text on the acquired works. That is a direction. global bibliographic platforms successfully implement all those functions. Users view. For the users working with a global bibliographic platforms is the most comfortable, effective, and at the same time free, completely free way of information service. To indicate the interest, the users only need to register and perform any action, search on the topic of interest, upload full text of their own scientific works, enter into correspondence or ask questions to colleagues. Built-in neural networks, intelligent models based on the analysis of the content of all user actions, form a unique profile of their interests, and regularly notify about newly published work on these topics using push notification and mailing. The user viewing new arrivals adjust their request using the direction safety collection or not relevant. Users have the opportunity also to form personal bibliographic collection, which are already made list of literature for new scientific publication. New reality of bibliographic service. Digitalization of information flow, global standardization of scientific publication, and the ability to constantly exchange information between various internet resources have led to the formation of the new reality of bibliographic services. Individual, even the most voluminous databases, are gradually losing demand due to the intensive development of the global bibliographic platforms, which act as a worldwide free discovery services for the whole academic community, providing both close to exhaustive completeness of the supplied data and high level of user comfort. The main problem, not so ideal now, not so ideal. The main problem at the present is the insufficient quality of the formation of semantic images, I mean embeddings, of both users' interests and the document entering the system. Currently, search engine based, old school search engine, based on character matching often work better than system based on meaning matching. But it just now, a couple of years ago, I had no even opportunity to discuss this global bibliographic platforms. Just an example is the low degree of relevance of the results issued by Semantic Scholar during the initial request. Only after user selects, includes in the personal collection relevant records, the degree of semantic correspondence of subsequent addition visibly increased. There are some other tools. There are some also intelligence services that combine information research capabilities with the execution of process characteristic of research activities, including source analysis, compiling literature, reviews on the topic, extracting the main ideas from the existing works, and as a result, preparing a new scientific work based on the studied artificial intellectual studied materials. Those systems include SciSpace, Licet, Scholarly, SciSummary, Willibot, CyberTDX, Russian thing, and dozen of others like that. Such services remain outside of the scope of this study, of my speech now, since they are kind of subconductors of the systems already considered. Built-in services based on the combination of the capabilities of global bibliographic platforms and LLM, large language models. But the impact of the science and education, however, is so significant that it requires special consideration. I consider these systems like an enormous threat for human education and science, by the way. Conclusion. It's obvious that information support for science will increasingly shift toward expanding the influence of global bibliographic platforms that provide users with the highest quality service built exclusively through the capabilities of software, the intelligence of which is rapidly increasing. Libraries around the world, especially the bibliographic services, need to take this fact into account, and shift to the emphasis to bibliographic processing of materials for retrospect printed collection and industry and departmental periodical that do not fall under the category of scientific publication. The last one, on the place but not in the meaning. A fundamental task for library science for all of us now is to determine direction and forms of work of libraries in the era when the growing power of artificial intelligence increasingly devaluates the unique professional experience of librarians, our unique professional experience. Actually, the existence or disappearance of libraries as a social institute in the very near future directly depends on the answer to the question, where is a place for the human brain in this artificial intellectual information universe? I hope we will discuss this main question. Thank you for attention. I will be ready to answer question, of course, if they will be.
I was muted. Thank you, Dr. Stepanov. I can't imagine a future without libraries, and I don't want to. We're going to move on to our final panelist. Mr. Ashutosh Kumar Suraj is going to talk to us about emotional tagging. Remember, please hold your questions till the end, and we hope to have a really great and lively Q&A discussion. So definitely send questions in the Q&A or just in the chat. Okay, I am going to leave so our final presenter can present.
Namaste and warm greeting to every presenter here. I am Ashutosh Kumar Suraj, Assistant Librarian, Yatharth Nursing College and Paramedical Institute, Uttar Pradesh, India. I feel truly honored to be speak at this prestigious IFLA webinar among such esteemed panelists and participants. Today, I am going to present a concept that's both technological forward and emotional grounded. AI-assisted emotional tagging in social science libraries, enhancing empathic and information access. Introduction. What is emotional tagging? Emotional tagging means assigning the emotional label like hope, grief, resilience, and anxiety to library resources. This is allowed to user to find information not just by topic, by the emotional needs. Is in social science where the topic is the trauma and it is or gender and a deeply person. This can transform access. The problem of traditional tagging is not enough. Traditional catalog rely on title, subject, and author, but social science user often the search emotionally, not technically. A user may not type post-traumatic therapy. This may be, why do I feel the broken? Traditional system miss the emotional tagging, fill the gap. What is AI-assisted emotion tagging? With the AI, especially natural language processing, like ANLP, and sentiment analysis, we can detect the emotional tone in text. AI can read paragraph and say, this is the contents express the grief or empowerment or hope. These emotional tag, they are added in metadata. User can now search by the emotion, making in the library more human center. The how it is work, the process. The process is simple. First, content integration, book, article, etc. Second, AI analyzing emotion tune. Third, emotional tag are generated. Fourth, these tag are added to discovery the system or searchable like a subject. Benefit of emotional tagging. This approach benefit both user and libraries. Emotional sensitive access to knowledge, support for mental health and personal journey. A strong user connection with collection adds a human touch in the library system. This about the empathic in design. Case example of India in my college. Let me share the real life example during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many students at my college were under the emotional distress. We use AI-assisted tagging to highlight the material related to hopes, griefs, and religions. A student found the comfort and reliability in the recommendation regarding. The library became a place of emotional support, challenging and ethical concern. Of course, in this not a withdrawal challenges. Occurs in emotional detection is still involving user privacy and consent must be ensured. The cultural sensitivity and critical AI biasness is seriousness concern. A librarian must remain involved the overseeing these tools ethically. Future scope. Looking ahead, multilingual emotional tagging for diverse Indian user and whatever international user. Integrated with the National Digital Library, emotional-based learning profiler for personalized recommendation. Course discipline collaboration between the LIS professional technologist and psychologist. Conclusion of vision. To conclude, the AI-assisted emotional tagging is not just a technology upgrade. It's a way of humanizing how we connect the people to knowledge. This is the bridge between the information and understanding. Let me remaining the library is not just as an information hub, but as an emotionally intelligent space. Thank you for your question answer. Thank you so much your kindly attention. I would be happy to take your question. You may also reach out Ashutosh Suraj 121@gmail.com. Once again, thank you and look forward learning for my fellow panelists as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashutosh. I think we are going to move into our Q&A session now. If I could have all the panelists join me in the webinar room, as well as the moderators. Robin is going to take kind of the lead on the Q&A, and I am going to keep quiet.
Hi, everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. Just wait a moment for everyone to join us. I think we need Ashutosh, if you could come back into the webinar room. Okay. Please, if you have questions for our esteemed panelists, please put them in the chat or into the Q&A. I did see a question. Thank you so much for everyone, for the panelists for joining. I did see a question in the Q&A that I asked for more information on. So if you could expand on that question, that would be appreciated. I have one first question here for you, Ashutosh. It is about using emotional tagging. How can we use emotional tagging in our library? I noticed that, you know, I think you're right that people sometimes do ask different kinds of social emotional questions into finding more information. And so how would we use this practically?
Thank you, ma'am. We use a natural language processing, NLP model, like a sentiment analysis tool such as BERT. BRT, what is BRT? BRT is the emotional classifier and detection tool, tune-based the approach. What is the tune of the user? Or what demanding? Tune is the best. We understand what is the tune of any user demanding and understand the emotion. What is the emotion in the behind of tune? Behind what is the facing of tune? Behind the emotion. Asking the like text bulb text. What is text bulb? Text bulb is an analytic emotion tune is the part of a NLP. That's natural language processing. Is the textual data for process karen. The advantage adaptation of the also part of process of improving accuracy. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to thank all our panelists for their insights into
You're welcome, ma'am.
using, oh, sure, and to using these tools, both in our searching and in our systematic review searching. Oh, good. Okay, we have another question. I do have a couple of questions in reserve, but I'll take the live questions first. So we have one other question for Luis. So on use cases, how can you clarify the topics or cases that are unclear?
Yeah. Some for the specific use cases when you're unsure of the topic, when using Primo Research Assistant, there are some instances where the results will be either narrow or broaden the questions, the answers to the question. So sometimes the results or the summaries can be, for example, your question is a broad question, a narrower response can be provided by the summary. But sometimes when questions, for example, that are really narrow, there are also times wherein the Primo Research Assistant can give broader responses or broader context to the queries. So either narrower to broader or broader to narrower, the AI tool can accommodate those types of questions, and responses will be also given in that manner.
Thank you, Luis. I had a follow-up question to that, to your use case studies. And I wasn't sure what you were recommending and if we could talk a little bit more about recommending. So you mentioned, keywords as being sometimes inefficient for finding things in the systematic review. How do you think these AI tools will take the place of keyword searching, or do you think it will supplement it? Or do you think, for now, right? Because these tools will change in the future, and maybe they will be even more useful than they are now. But for now, how do you think about using keywords and subject headings and these AI more semantic-based tools for systematic review? How do you think about telling our researchers, if you're at a university, how do we use these tools with the traditional way of searching?
Actually, for the current setup, specifically for our university, or for the university where the Primo Research Assistant was studied, it is sort of a complement to the usual keyword searching. So the usual interface of the discovery system is still keyword based. You have the basic search and then the advanced search. And in addition, there's a embedded feature of the research assistant. So it's more on a complement rather than it will replace. Maybe I don't know, in a few years' time, AI will be more advanced. But specifically for researchers, I think it will be more useful, the primary research assistant, because unlike us librarians, we already know how to develop keywords when we're searching, like when we're using Boolean operators, when using search, creating the search strings. Some early researchers may not be familiar with how to develop keywords and how to use advanced search techniques in discovery system. So if they use the AI version or AI research or AI platform within the system, it will be easier for them. But I think it will not really be currently, it will not really replace the keyword-based searching. I don't know, maybe in 5 or 10 years, natural language or large language models will be more efficient, more developed, and more architectures will be developed, like the RAG will be improved. So the shift will be leaning more to using natural language prompting than the usual keyword searching.
Thank you, Luis. Any other responses from the panel? Vadim, I see that you placed in the chat more
People
tools.
ask me to send
Thank you.
tools.
That's great. Thank you so much. Maybe Yousuf, if you could do the same too, I think people would appreciate that from your presentation. So I think the question that came through in the Q&A is related to what we were just discussing. And it gets to a different part of that question, of the larger question of using these tools for systematic reviews, which is that the value is that they're based on reproducible methodology, right? You report the search strategy, and someone can go into the tool that you've reported and receive sort of the same results. And we know that in AI, that doesn't always happen. Even if you ask, a chatbot or Claude or Gemini and so on, if you ask them the same question 2 days later, or you've used slightly different wording, you'll get different answer. You won't get exactly the same. Maybe in some of these closed data tools, such as the Primo Research Assistant that have the closed data sets, it may be more reproducible because they know the information, where it's coming from, that make up the underlying data. But it could be the case that the way that these tools learn, it's not exactly reproducible. So how do you sort of reconcile that use if it doesn't give you uniform reproducible results for systematic reviews and other kinds of evidence synthesis? And this is for any panelist. How do you think about that?
Just use right sources. Do not use ChatGPT or Gemini for literature search. Use Semantic Scholar or Scilate, for example. And don't use Semantic Scholar for a literature review. Use Grok, for example. I like this.
So different tools.
Very powerful, Grok. Or DeepSeek or Quen or something. I saw some mistakes. It's not correct to mix in the same line Scilate and Gemini, for example, or ChatGPT, because Scilate it's subconductor of Semantic Scholar and some large language model. But I would like to ask why we don't discuss our future of our profession during the
Yeah, I
artificial
was gonna get,
intelligence era.
yeah, no, I was gonna get to your question at the end. Yes. But Luis, did you have any, that larger question, Vadim, did you have anything about the reproducibility for the systematic review?
Actually, we have internally tested Primo Research Assistant specifically for
Mhm.
reproducibility. And also I have read a recent study by Aaron Tay, a Singaporean-based librarian, which he evaluated Primo Research Assistant, Scopus AI, and also Web of Science AI,
Ah,
where he compared the results. Specifically, one of the things he checked is the reproducibility. Based on his study, Primo Research Assistant has medium reproducibility. In our case, we also tested it.
mm,
The top 5 sources usually are the same when we prompt the same question or frame a different question, but basically the same or synonymous terms. So the results are the specific sources, the top 5 sources usually are the same, but the concise summaries differ a bit.
mm.
For me, I
Okay.
think later on this will be, I think, will be developed. I think checked by these providers, specifically reproducibility, because I think it's still in the early stages for RAG, specifically
Mhm.
RAG based
Mhm.
platform. So I think later on it will be reproducibility will be improved uh, uh, later.
Okay. No, thank you so much.
There are two
I
questions in the
sure.
chat.
No, we
I
have
would
many
like,
questions now.
no,
We're
there are
hitting all the
two
questions.
that I would like to answer.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Can libraries be obsolete because of AI? Yes. 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 And can we use Research Rabbit for research review, literature review? No, that is a bibliographical database. You will find links, you will find reference there, and there you will write. It will be there are two ways when you find literature and when you file full text. There are two ways. You may read and consider it by yourself, or you may place it to SciSpace or Elicit or something else, and give complete answer. But I'm not sure that you or me, any person who use, I call them, let me think about it, individual assistant of researcher. I call these systems SciSpace, Elicit, CyberTida, QualiBot. They could do our job for us. They could do this job, but we are not. We will not become more stronger in our research. Moreover, we will be less strong in our research. I see it on my students. They trust to artificial intelligence like a god, like they trust the god. Just if
Right. And I think it's our job as librarians. I mean,
explain
to
explain the
explain the
difference.
tool, it's just another information tool, really, to explain the benefits, the deficiencies, and how to use it to the best advantage for what you're doing. I think will still be a place for information professionals to do that. Even it will just be in a new way, in a different way. Because people always will have questions on how to do things and how and they don't know what they don't know. So there is a place for librarians to know what the beginner users don't know and to help them. So we've had a couple of questions here like that. And we've had, and Luis, thank you for putting the citation in. We had a couple of questions for that. And as a reminder, the webinar will be recorded and it will be available on the IFLA Social Sciences Libraries page that Ekaterina put into the chat for the recording, and the slides as the presenters want to share them. I will, some of the speakers, if you want to answer live in the Q&A, you can, or type the questions. I saw that Yousuf did that already. So feel free to do that. I think you typed, oh, you're trying to type and I answer.
There is one question exactly to me, the last one.
Okay. Yes, how we only have one more minute. So if each of you want to say anything else or answer a question, I can't get to the emotional tagging question because that presenter is no longer here, but in the front of the webinar, but let's if each of you want to say something to close, please do. We can start with Vadim, but we are at time, so please be careful of the time.
My answer about library future, it have to transform to living communication center, to living communications space for living communication, not for communication with documents. There is only one thing I could see. Only one thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yousuf?
I just wanted to add, the one of the participant is asking about how can we dependent upon the AI tools when we are doing the systematic review. It's basically a librarian is a main support who can verify the tools. There are so many tools being discussed by our Asian co-presenter. Because the librarian role is being remain exist, he will decide either which tool is being used and how we can dependent upon. Because artificial means artificial intelligence means artificial can be changed because it's not a permanent thing. And human brain and human intelligence is remain same. So when we artificial intelligence is run by the human brain and human intelligence, so definitely every research and researcher should depend upon the human intelligence, and librarian is the key source to support the human intelligence, to run the artificial intelligence through the human intelligence. So we should rely on it. This is the main cause and this is the main way. And one more question is that is the librarian lost the credibility via the robotics? No, librarian and library jobs will remain same. It will be exist, though it can be changed due to the technology. So its role remains same. Its role is remain exist. It can be divert due to the innovative and invention of the technology, but it will exist. This is my concluding remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Luis?
Yeah, for my concluding remarks, for the research process, I think we librarians still need to be in control. AI is just a tool for us to improve our workflows, to improve the research process. But the whole research process, I think we should still be in control. We should still take the lead. We just use it to complement our knowledge, our competencies, but overall, we still need to be not too reliant on AI. We still need to be the lead when we are in the overall research process.
All right. No, thank you so much. Thank you to all of 4 of our presenters today, especially those presenting late at night, Luis. So thank you so much to everyone. And we are at overtime a bit, but I have really learned so much from all of you today. And I thank you for taking the time to present this for IFLA and for the social sciences section. And we have had a great turnout today. So thank you to all of the participants. The information will be available later, and you should receive something from the webinar within 1 hour, thanking you for attending. And hopefully that can serve the need for the certificates that we've received questions about for the attendees. So we thank you very much. And thank you for attending. And thank you to the to Abby and to Ekaterina and to all of our presenters for their work on the webinar today.